Hey y'all, welcome back to our very bookish channel. In today's video, we are going to be reading Lisa Unger. I'm very excited. Lisa Unger has a short story that just came out that we're going to be reading, and it's called The Doll's House. Okay, looks super spooky. I have no idea what it's about, and I don't care. I'm gonna read it. I bought it from the Kindle app. It was just a couple of dollars since it's a short story. Then Jen and I were both able to get early digital copies of a Lisa Unger book that's coming out called Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. And here is what the book looks like when I open it. It doesn't have a cover page to show you, but the cover has been released. I can pop a picture up here so you can see what the cover is going to look like. So, first things first, I'm going to start reading The Doll's House. It's a very short story. It is only 92 pages or so less than 100 pages. And I'm probably just going to finish it right now. I'm just going to sit and read it. It shouldn't take me too long to read 100 short pages on the app. Plus, this book has the scroll feature, which I love. Like, you just scroll the book this way instead of having to turn pages. And I just feel like I fly through books. Like, I just feel like I'm like reading books so fast when I have the scroll feature on. So, really excited. Gonna get cozy and read this book and then let you know what I think.
I'm excited to start this vlog because it is Lisa Unger and I am a huge fan of hers. I have read several of hers, my favorite being Confessions on the 745. She released, I think in time for Halloween, fall, she released a short story that I actually am going to be listening to. I finally signed up for Audible, and with my first credit, I had pre-ordered her Doll's House. And the other one is Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. So I'm going to be downloading this to read on my tablet. I got it from NetGalley. Come along, I will give you thoughts. Since Doll's House is a short story, I'll just tell you after I read it, or listen to it rather, what I think of it. And then I will go on to Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 is a book she's not even releasing till next year. So I'm getting it like way ahead of time. But I'm excited for both of these, so stay tuned for thoughts on both of them. This is The Doll's House by Lisa Unger. I am listening to it on Audible. I thought it would show the cover better, but I can make sure I have a picture of it. I'll put a picture on the screen when I am talking about it, but all you can really see is kind of a room that looks dark by a window and has light coming in like it's night, but it's moonlight. And it says A Doll's House. So I might sometimes I feel like I'm saying the doll story in some of the videos when I'm talking about this, but it's called The Doll's House. So I'm going to get into the story. It shouldn't take me long, and I'll be back with some thoughts.
All right, y'all, I just finished The Doll's House by Lisa Unger, and this is a picture of her. I don't know, it's at the end of the book if y'all want to see it. Wow. I'm kind of impressed. I am not a fan of short stories. I'm just not. I don't know why. They just don't, I don't know. I guess I just don't have enough time in them to get really attached to the characters, to get really involved in what's going on. But Frida McFadden has fantastic short stories. And this was a fantastic short story by Lisa Unger as well. Maybe thriller short stories are the way to go. I'm not sure. But the thriller short stories that I have been reading lately have been good. Like I said, I don't read a lot, but I've read 2 Frida McFaddens and now this one Lisa Unger, and it's pretty good. It is pretty creepy. You're following a woman and her teenage daughter, and the husband to the woman and the father to the teenage daughter has passed away, and the mother has moved on, and she has found a rich man to date and love and be with, and he wants them to come stay at his house. So they pack up and they leave their little apartment they're in and they move out to his big mansion, and just creepy stuff start happening. And I really don't want to say more because since it's such a short story, there's just no way I can talk more without giving away things. But I just want to say I love the character development. I love to see the dynamic between the mom and the daughter, how they grow close throughout the story, how the daughter grows and finds friends at her school throughout the story. And you know, it was a good little short story. I mean, that's all I can say about it. It was just really good. If you're looking for something real quick and thrilling, a little creepy, very creepy actually, very creepy vibes for this fall season, maybe coming up on Halloween, I would highly recommend this little short story if that's something that sounds like something you would like.
Okay, I finished The Doll's House and it was really short. It took me about 2-ish hours, I think actually under it, to listen to it. And I think with short stories, it's just a different experience. I don't feel like I was as invested as I usually get with her books. It was very interesting. I got very sucked into the story to see what was going to happen. And what the premise is the alternating perspectives of the mother who's Jules and the teenage daughter who's Scout. And they're moving into this new house because the mother is, I don't think they're married, but like a new relationship, and they're moving into this almost like mansion. And there's some contention between the mother and daughter. Apparently it's like this big fancy house that is like a smart home. Scout ends up learning that the guy that Jules is dating and they're moving into his house, and I'm forgetting his name right now, he had a sister and her room was still there. And I think Scout comes upon it and ends up learning about the sister that was supposedly missing since she was younger, almost like Scout's age sort of. And it's like this mystery that Scout ends up looking into, but then some mysterious things happen with Jules on the property where she kind of finds some things connected to the sister, who I believe her name was Emma. And there was a doll that was made in Emma's image. And then there's a house on the property that's like a doll's house that was kind of connected to this disappearance of Emma and how they were processing the fact that she was missing. And it goes pretty quickly because it's a short story. You end up learning everything about it. And it was almost too fast or something. I don't know if I just wanted more story, but it was just an okay book for me. It was a 3 stars for me. I'm now gonna read her new book that doesn't come out till next year. And so I will be back with thoughts on the brand new Lisa Unger book that I can't wait to dig into. So I'll be back.
All right, now we're moving on to Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. I am so super excited about this book. I want to see, when is it coming out? I think it comes out in, oh, I don't know if this book has scroll. Oh no. All right, so according to Amazon, this book is coming out on February 18th. So not January, but February. So in January, y'all got to go out and read Alice Feeney's new book, Beautiful Ugly. And in February, we'll see. Well, I'm guessing I'm going to like it just because it's Lisa Unger. And I've really enjoyed her other books that I've read. But probably in February, you all can be looking forward to Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. But we're going to find out. I'm going to let you know what I think. I'm going to let you know if it's a good book or not. All right, guys, so here we go. Just diving right in, just moving on, just moving to the next book.
So I've been reading on my tablet, Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. I'm only about 60 pages in, so I thought I would do an update as to first impressions and what I'm feeling like reading this. And I don't feel as sucked into this one right now either. And it might be because there's so many other books I want to read right now that my attention feels diverted. The premise for this one is like a reality show, and Adele is one of the contestants that you're seeing the point of view. So far, I've gone through, I think it's 3 different characters' point of views. And I don't know how many different point of views we're going to get, because sometimes, I've said in other vlogs, when there are too many, I start to struggle a little bit trying to make sense of who is who and what's going on. And Adele, I feel I have been more interested in her character. She has 2 kids. She's a single mom. And there's kind of an interesting side story with her because her husband is missing, quote unquote. He is running away from the FBI who's after him. You don't get the whole story. I have a feeling he's going to end up showing up later in the book, maybe with this reality TV show. So she decides to try and win the $1 million and do this reality TV show. Her kids are kind of like a fan of this. And she's also, she herself, Adele, is an influencer that her kids kind of helped her set up, but it's like mild influencer. You see her decide to do the show, and then when she arrives to this island, so they're all going to this island and playing pretty much like hide and seek to win money. And I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't know if I'm following how, I guess if you're the last person to not get found, they win the $1 million. So the other viewpoint that you're seeing is the creator of this show or this production company, whatever you want to call it. And you keep seeing everything though, where they're going live. And I'm sure there's some commentary here that Lisa Unger is doing, where you keep seeing comments on when people go live and how almost disingenuous it is and how disconnected it can be, how people can be disconnected from each other, because they show this one brief viewpoint of one of the contestants who is trying to hide, and she's doing a live because they're encouraging them to share things online, and she's trying to hide, and something happens where her feed gets cut, and you see all these comments from people that have been watching her live. And it's just all over the place. Kind of like when you see comments on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And it very much mimics that, because some people are complimenting her hair and complimenting her. And then other people are saying that the clothing line that this influencer had started is fraudulent and that they're being sued and they hate the product that they bought from her. And it seems kind of surreal to see some of this, because I feel like sometimes we see this when you go on social media. Maverick is the guy who's in charge of the company that's doing this. I don't even know what to call it. And people don't really seem to like him either, but I don't know. I feel like it's very early. I don't know how all of that is going to pan out, but I don't feel as riveted because I feel like it's another reality TV show that I'm reading about. And I won't mention the other 2 books I've read, because those 2 books, it was almost like a twist that you found out that they were on a reality TV show. This one, it's not a twist that you didn't know. It pretty much, it's set up that you know they're going on this island to play this game for a reality TV show. I don't know how much I love that as a premise. I hopefully will get through this book and not feel like I'm pushing myself through it. I do like Lisa Unger enough and her writing that I feel like it should be okay. And I do like the character of Adele so far. But that's my check-in for what's going on with this so far. And I will let you guys know any more thoughts maybe after the 100, 150 mark, and let you guys know how it's going.
All right, y'all. I am just on chapter 2, so I'm only 5% into the book. I got Smoochie here with me. Being my little cuddle bug while I'm reading. But it looks like the book is about another single mom. So the dollhouse had a single mom with a teenager, and it seems like we have another single mom whose husband is missing out of the picture. We don't know where he went. He has committed some kind of financial crime and disappeared and left them behind, her with the kids. And the mother has her own channel on We Watch. It's a health and fitness channel, and I think she does okay, but I don't think she's monetized yet. But there is a very famous vlogger on We Watch, and he does these competitions, and he is saying there's going to be an extreme game of hide and seek, and the winner will win $1 million. So her son is trying to convince her to apply for this competition because they are having some financial problems right now with repercussions of the things that her husband has done. So she's considering doing this, and I'm thinking she's going to, obviously, because the title is Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 and the game is hide and seek. So I feel like she's gonna compete in this game, and I love that. Y'all know I love when there's games or competitions or trials, really quests where characters have to compete or do something. I love it, putting people in those kind of situations, and in books, of course. And so I'm really excited. I can't wait to keep reading.
Back with an update. I have read another 100 pages on my tablet. Unfortunately, I have to take a break because I didn't charge it last night. And I don't really want to read it while it's on its charger, so I'm just going to read a different book in the meantime. And I had already taken a break because we had gotten advance copies of Frida McFadden, and how could I possibly wait? When you get copies of Frida McFadden, you have to take advantage, and we're also doing a Frida vlog. And now I'm back, and I was pretty riveted. I will be able to read at bedtime because it'll be charged enough that I'll be able to read some more. But in those 100 pages that I just read, you're getting more and more information as to what's going on. And I feel like I'm getting more and more sucked into this story, though there are many perspectives you keep getting pieces of the information from. It's set up where the chapters are from different perspectives. Adele, who's the mom on the island trying to do this reality game show and trying to win $1 million, you now have seen perspectives from her kids. She has 2 teenage kids, Violet and Blake. I feel like pieces of their story are going to end up connecting to this somehow. Blake, her teenage son, he's doing gaming stuff online, and he's the one that kind of convinced her to do this challenge. Well, I think he's in the gaming world. I'm not as familiar with it. My boyfriend does play a lot of online games, but these are the type, he doesn't play these types where you win. It's hard to describe, but I know just based on hearing about those kind of online games what the character's talking about. But I think the person he's talking to in the game, I feel like it's going to end up being the missing dad. He's on the run from the FBI. And then there are these weird little like short chapters that are all italicized text, and it's kind of like jumping to the future because it's once the game has already started, but the other chapters they haven't started the game yet. It's getting close, it's edging up to it. So that's a little confusing. It may make more sense once I'm deeper into the story, I don't know. But you're already getting some reveals as to hidden agendas, I guess I would call it. And I think you're going to get more and more information and more plot twists, I guess you can call it. I definitely am more riveted than I was. And I'll read more tonight right before I go to bed. But in the meantime, I have some stuff to do around the house. And then I'm going to try reading this one, even though I know this is in my TBR jar. I've been wanting to read it, and it's about a haunted house, and it's short, so I figure I can read this when I have a little bit of time on my day off to read. I didn't put it on my official October TBR, but sometimes you just are in the mood for a book that you weren't planning to read. I will be back when I read maybe another 100 pages and let you guys know how it's going. So until then.
Hey y'all, a reading update time. I'm on chapter 9. Just got to chapter 9, which is 20 8% into the book. So far, the book's going well. I'm really enjoying the plot. We have been switching back and forth between points of views of characters, which so far has been okay for me. I think we've gotten 4 point of view characters so far, which is a little more than I really like, but as long as we don't get any more, like if we do 5, I'll probably be okay, but if we start getting more than 5, or she starts doing points of views of all the contestants, I'm probably gonna zone out a little bit, or but so far it's fine. The vibe of this book is so different. The vibe of this book feels very dark. This game is taking place on an not an abandoned island, like on a secluded island with a small population. There was this hotel that was built there and abandoned. It was supposed to be this big glamour hotel destination of the rich and famous kind of thing, but it's been abandoned for a long time because of some tragedy that's happened there. And it doesn't sound like the hotel is very stable structurally. They're saying that they checked it out for the game and it's structurally fine for people to walk in and climb in and stuff, but I don't know. Who knows? But that's kind of where we're at. The game hasn't officially started yet. The contestants have kind of gotten to the island, and some of them have met each other, and they're kind of settling in, probably strategizing, coming up with gameplay and all that. They're all influencers, so they're all talking about, going live and doing their influencer thing, which right now I think is cool. I don't know if this theme in books is gonna get outdated, in 20 years, 30 years. I don't know if it will date the books a lot, but for right now, it seems to be enjoyable. And a lot of authors are writing books that revolve around podcasts and bloggers and, influencers. So right now it seems to be going good. I am currently at a park. I love fall weather. You can sit outside. The air is crisp and cool. You can sit outside comfortably in a sweatshirt or hoodie, but the sun is out, so it's not too cold. And so I'm trying to be outside as much as I can. I'm gonna sit at this park and read for a little while and just enjoy some outside weather and fresh air, because I know very, very soon it's gonna be so cold when you go outside it hurts your face. And I won't want to be outside. I'm going to be inside all the time. So I'm just trying to enjoy the weather while it lasts.
I forgot to mention earlier that when I had read last night, there was a chapter from the perspective of Harley Granger. And at first I was like, wow, that is a really familiar, I recognized the name and I was like, where have I seen that before? And it hit me that it was in her previous book, Christmas Presents, that came out last year. And I looked up that book on Goodreads, and I was correct. That is the true crime podcaster, one of the characters in Christmas Presents. But it makes me wonder how many characters have crisscrossed over her books and I didn't notice. I looked up a couple other books just to see if any of these characters showed up in other books, and none that I saw as of right now. Anyway, I got another 50 pages read, and you're getting more and more perspectives from other characters, from their viewpoint, but it is definitely intensifying, and it feels weird that they're talking about this storm coming and people are trying to get them to get off this island because this storm's coming, and they're not calling it a hurricane, but it sounds like it's a pretty intense storm. And it's weird because coincidentally is Hurricane Milton, which is a Hurricane 5 right now, headed towards Florida. So it's just weird that some of the same things are happening as I read this. Anyway, that was my short recap for right now. I'm going to hopefully read more tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to get done tomorrow. I have to work a lot in the next few days, so I'm not going to be able to read as much as I want, but it is getting more and more intense, and I will be back with updates.
Hey y'all, it is so cold and rainy today outside. It is terrible. Anyways, it is Tuesday and my husband had a long weekend. We went to an indoor water park, and I got some footage for you guys. It was mostly, I didn't do a lot of filming. It was mostly like little kids stuff. Like there was like a big wave pool. There was adult things to do. There were like adult water slides, adult rides. That's what I mean by adult things to do. There was also like an arcade and a bowling alley, and there was a restaurant connected to this water park and a hotel connected to the water park. So it was all right, but I just didn't do a lot of filming because I would say the majority of the park was tailored more towards kids. And I don't know, I just didn't feel right filming people in general in a water park because, I mean, I wouldn't appreciate it if I was walking through the water park in my bathing suit and someone was, you know, filming something to put out on YouTube. I didn't want to do that. So I did get some clips. It was really cute. They had lots of nice murals on the walls and things, which I'll show you. And we had a good time. I did get a little reading done. I was really hoping to finish the book while I was on vacation, but I didn't really get as much reading done as I was hoping to. I'm going to show you some of the clips and then I'll be right back to talk about the book. Okay, so right now I am about 85% into the book. So I am very, very close to being done. So the first 25% of the book was really fast paced, really interesting. I'm really into the premise of the book and the plot. I really, really am enjoying that aspect of the book. The whole middle of the book, though, up until about 75% into the book, between 25 and 75, so the middle 50%-ish of the book felt kind of slow to me. You're really just kind of getting background information, and although some of it's interesting, it just felt slow. I'm really plot driven. Like, I need things to be happening, like actual plot things to be moving forward and happening in the book. And although I didn't feel like I was bored or anything, I just felt like it was very kind of slow burn in the middle, and then when you hit like the 75% mark, it's really picked up, and I'm really excited to keep reading and to find out what all is going on in this book. So that's where I'm at right now. I am going to finish the last 15% of this book, and then I will be back with some final thoughts.
Okay, I finished, and I don't know how I feel about it right now. It kind of feels ho-hum at the minute. I feel that it was really leading up, and I don't know, I kind of want to say it fell flat. There's some things I feel like also just weren't really resolved or explained, but I'm going to think about it a little bit, and I'll be back with some final thoughts to go over both of the Lisa Unger books that we read. And one more thing, I don't know, I know I tend to complain a lot about reading on a tablet, but one of the things, I don't know if anyone else has that habit, when you're reading a real book, and there's just something satisfying about seeing like how far you are in the book. And it was particularly hard in this electronic ARC from NetGalley, because though it told you at the bottom like the total number of pages and what page you were on, I'm so used to kind of breezing through to look. I don't like read ahead, but I like seeing like how many more pages I have. Sometimes there's like an afterword or acknowledgements at the end, and I couldn't do that on this, and it was like torture to me to see like how many real pages I had left to read. There's just something, I just like reading physical books, I think, is the thing. Anyway, I'll be back with final thoughts.
All right, y'all, I'm back. I have finished. Oh, Primrose. I'm sorry, y'all. The dogs are going crazy right now, and Smoochie has the zoomies. I call them the zoomies. Smoochie has the zoomies, and if you have a dog, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it just, especially puppies, they get this like very quick burst of energy, like they have to expel, and they just start running as fast as they can. And Smoochie is like racing around my house right now, so you're probably gonna be interrupted with the dogs. So speaking of she jumped on the chair. Okay. I thought she was coming in this direction. Anyways I have finished Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger, and the digital arc that I have does not have the cover shown. The cover has been released, so I will just prop a picture of it up here instead of holding this up and showing you the not cover of the book. But I have finished the book, and I think it's a solid thriller. I really enjoyed the setting. I really enjoyed the setting. I really liked the way that she built up this remote, kind of deserted. It's not deserted. There's people living there, but a very low population, sort of in the middle of nowhere island, with a abandoned like concrete hotel. As a setting. I just think that's super spooky and fun. And then on top of that, she has this storm that's rolling across the island, which makes everything even another layer of chaos. Okay, it's just adding another layer of chaos and more, I don't know, vibes, more spooky, thrilling vibes. So I loved the setting. I loved the story that Lisa Unger has built and is showing. I like the competition with all of the influencers, I guess you would call them. Their channel on this book is called We Watch, which is like, I would say, the equivalent of YouTube. So I really like that aspect of it. I didn't really get attached to any of the characters. The main female character that you read from the most, I would say, is probably the one that I attached to the most, obviously, but I really didn't really get a sense of the other characters so much, like really who they are, like all their layers and their personalities and the other things they have going on in their lives. I really didn't get a depth with the other characters or get really attached to them. That's probably just a me thing, and to be very honest, I don't need an attachment to characters, especially in thrillers, to really enjoy and love the book. So that's not necessarily a deal breaker for me. I'm not very character driven person. I do really like the layers when the characters are complicated, or they have quirks, or they have a disability, or they have a past, something like that. Like, I do love complicated and layered characters, but I don't have to feel like a super attachment to them or very strongly believe in them or very strongly root for them. I don't need that for in my thrillers to, you know, really like the novel. So that's kind of a medium, I guess, for me. I did really enjoy the ending. I think the ending is very satisfying. I was happy with the ending and how everything wrapped up, and even down to the last paragraph, the last word, you're getting an exciting ending, and I appreciate that. I am not one that likes endings that stretch out and you have the main climax of the book and the bad person gets what they deserve and then the story drags on for 50 pages. I don't like that. So I appreciate the ending of this book. I do think it was a good ending. So I mean, that's all my thoughts on it. It's not my favorite Lisa Unger book. My favorite one I've read so far is The New Couple in 5B, and I was gifted an arc of that book as well a while ago and read that, and I really did like that book. I know Jen really liked Confessions on the 745, and she's been telling me that I need to read it, and she's probably actually mentioned it in this video maybe and said Amanda needs to read it. I know she's mentioned it before, but I just have not had the time. I haven't got around to reading it yet, but I want to. I really do. But that's all I have. It is Saturday, so I am going to watch college football, which I love, and I am going to read more of our Halloween challenge vlog. The first vlog we're doing is a book that was written in the 90s, and although it was kind of difficult for me to pick a book, I have a book, I've been reading it, and I'm super excited to get back to reading that book, finishing up that vlog, and of course watching college football because I love it. So that's what my plans are for the rest of the day. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I am sorry if the dog noises were troublesome. I can't help it. It's just what you get. I have dogs. And even if I keep them separated and locked up, then they just bark and play with each other and growl, and you can still hear it. So I mean, I don't know what to do. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.
All right, I have some final thoughts on our Lisa Unger vlog. I am still a big fan of Lisa's, even though these were just kind of okay for me. I wasn't as enamored with either of these, and I had a lot of high hopes, especially for Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. I thought this one especially seemed like it was going to be riveting, and I don't know, lots of action and plot twists. That's just kind of what I thought. And with The Doll's House, I thought it was going to be the perfect creepy October read. And though it had some creepiness to it, it was obviously very short. It was considered either a short story or a novella. I listened to that one on Audible, so that could have changed. I think sometimes if you listen to a book versus reading a book, I think you're gonna get something different out of it. And I wouldn't say I'm a very well-versed reader or listener to audiobooks. That it's just something I tend to read when I'm driving, and I did listen to that one when I was at home, and I was trying to do some other things, and I did have to go back a couple times because my attention was elsewhere. I feel between the two of them, they're about the same for me. I don't feel like either one of them edges out the other. They're both 3-star reads for me. They're just okay reads. I didn't think they were bad. They just didn't really grab me or make me really love the book. And I was getting invested in this one, Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. But as I said in my video right after I finished it, there were some things I felt like weren't, and I can't say anything because it's plot points or things that may ruin the book, but there were some things I feel like they never really explained fully, and some things that were kind of left open-ended. I don't know. I just, there were a lot of things I feel like fell apart towards the end. This was my 6th and 7th books from her, I believe, because other than these two, I had Christmas Presents, I had, I think it's called Last Girl Ghosted or something like that, and Confessions on the 745, which is one of my favorites. Under My Skin was actually the first one I ever read and made me want to read another, and I think after that one I had read Confessions on the 745, so I was really liking her books. And I feel like there was one more and I'm forgetting. I don't remember, but I do still want to read Secluded Cabin Sleep 6 or something like that. I should have written these things down before I went to do this video. I don't feel like I'm very prepared. I was just planning on doing a very short end to the Lisa Unger vlog. I am still very much a fan of Lisa's. I would read something that she puts out new, and I feel like she's been putting out some new content pretty regularly the last couple of years. But I would also read some of the backlist, and I have bought some of her backlist, and I found one in a little free library if you have watched that episode, and I still have to read that one. So I'm very much going to keep reading her. These were just kind of okay. I don't feel like they were horrible. They were just kind of okay. I'm not sure how Amanda feels. I know she is finishing this one, and I think she felt about the same about The Doll's House, if I remember correctly. I don't know how she'll feel about this one. Maybe she'll absolutely love it, or maybe she'll absolutely hate it. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Or you have seen because you've been watching. So thanks for watching as we read 2 of Lisa Unger's latest books. And stay tuned for October. We have a lot of great, scary content, Halloween challenge coming up that I'm very excited to do. And until next time.